Over the course of the next 2 weeks, we are going to spend a lot of time in Shul. This coming week we say slichos, 20 minutes before davening, 25 minutes before davening. At the end of the week, we have Rosh Hashanah, spending full mornings into the afternoon davening in Shul. The week afterwards, Aseres Yemei, longer slichos, culminating with Yom Kippur, where we spend literally the entire day in Shul. If you go through the Gemaras and the Halachos about this time period, and you wonder how many hours are we actually obligated to spend in Shul, it really amounts to very few hours. In Rosh Hashanah, you need a longer Masa. In Yom Kippur, you need 5 Tefillos. But all of the piyutim, all of the songs, all of the slichos are entirely based on minhag. These are the customs that the Jewish people have developed. Why? Why do the Jewish people want to spend so much time in Shul during this time period? The simple explanation is that we're scared. These are Yemei Hadin. These are the Yamim Narayim. Hashem is judging us, and Hashem is going to determine what our next year is going to look like based on how we act now. And therefore, because we're scared, we want to optimize our chances of being Zoche B'din. And therefore, we spend as much time as possible here in Shul, davening, pleading with Hashem for a good year next year. But perhaps there's another element at play, an element that resonates with me very deeply. And it's based on a statement of Rav Tzadok HaKohen of Lublin in the introduction to his Sefer, Or Zerur Latzadik. There, in classic Rav Tzadok style, he quotes a Mishnah in Kelim that formulates a halacha in the laws of Tumah V'Tara, of purity and impurity. If one takes the skin of an animal, skin of a cow, and creates a beged, creates a garment out of it, creates a kli out of it, creates a cup out of it, that garment or that kli could be makabel tama. If it touches a corpse, it is tamei. However, kol shebayam tahar. If you take a parallel sea animal, if you take a fish, and you take its skin, and you manufacture a kli, manufacture a beged out of it, kol shebayam tahar, that beged, that kli that is made out of the skin of a sea animal is tahar. The Mishnah says there was one exception. There was one animal that lives in the ocean whose skin could be susceptible to tumah. Chutz mikelev hamayim, except for the seal. Mipnei shehu boreach leyabasha, because it flees to the dry land. The Bartanura explains that even though the seal, the kelev hamayim, spends most of its time in the ocean, when the seal is scared, it flees not to the ocean, but to the dry land. And therefore, it is defined as an animal of Yabasha, an animal that lives on dry land, and therefore its skin could be makabel tama. Rav Tzadok HaKohen of Lublin beautifully extracts a psychological and spiritual truth from this Mishnah. He says that if you ask yourself, where is your shoresh neshama? Where is the root of your soul? Where is your spiritual home? Where do you feel most comfortable and most safe? It's not necessarily in the location where you spend the majority of your time. The seal spends the majority of its time in the ocean, and yet it's not defined as an ocean animal. Your shoresh neshama, your bias, the place where you feel most safe and most comfortable, is the place where you run to when you're scared. Think of a little child. Little child, no matter where they get themselves hurt, they always scream out for Ima and Abba. It doesn't matter if they spend the majority of the day in God. Ima and Abba are always the first addresses when they're scared, because that's who they feel most connected to. That's where they feel most safe. Let's think back now to the Jewish people. During this time period, we're scared. It's Yemei Hadin. We don't know what our din is going to be like for next year. We don't know if we're going to be Zocha B'din. So where do we run to? Where do we go when we're scared? As Am Yisrael, we go to Shul. We go to a Beit Knesset. We go to a place where people, Jewish people, are there davening together, trying to connect to Hashem. That is where the shoresh neshama of a Jewish person is. That is where we feel most safe. That is our safe space. That is where we feel most at home. So the fact we're in Shul so much during this time period is not only a means of optimizing our chances of being Zocha B'din, but it's also a natural reaction of a Jewish person being scared. You run to your house, you run to your shoresh neshama, you run to your spiritual source, and for us, that is a Shul. I think this idea can be very powerful, because we're going to spend a lot of time in Shul together. We're going to be saying words that we may not fully understand. And it's also very scary. We want to know, are we going to be Zocha B'din? But we should take this idea with us, And when we're in Shul, we should realize this is the best place to be. We are people that in our Shoresh of our Neshama, we're connected to Kedusha. We're connected to Hashem. We're connected to Am Yisrael. And therefore, naturally, this place, a Shul, is the place where we want to be. It's the best place to be during the scary time period. And therefore, we should take this idea with us, be mechazik our tefillos, be mispala for ourselves and for Am Yisrael, and Amir Hashem, we will be zocha b'din.